Good morning. My name is Ann Cronenberg. I'm Director of Emergency Management here in the city of San Francisco. Here at DEM, what our role is really to prepare for large disasters, but the disasters that happen every day too. And I'm very excited today to present a new idea that the BayShare community, the sharing community in San Francisco, has come up with to partner with us in preparing for disasters and in responding to and recovering quickly. Last month we had a very good drill mimicking a 7.8 earthquake. We fed 6,000 people in the Tenderloin with no electricity. We had set up a shelter up at St. Mark's. It was just an incredible day, and that was working with our community partners, with the faith-based community, and with the sharing community. So when Mayor Lee came to us about 6 months ago and with this idea to partner with the sharing community, we were very excited and we said, yes, we want to do this. And so today we had our first meeting, first of many, that is going to be figuring out how we can build a platform together to make it very simple for our residents in San Francisco to be able to get the resources they need and to be able to connect in a disaster using the tools that already exist in the platform. So on that note, I'm going to introduce Mayor Ed Lee, who knows disasters like no one else. He is the biggest supporter of our preparedness in San Francisco, and it's an honor to work for you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. Good morning, everybody. The good news this morning is that there's no citywide disaster. But we take this opportunity to remind ourselves that everything that we can do ahead of time to better prepare for a disaster is going to be incredibly beneficial to our residents, to our small businesses, even to our major businesses. And so I am been very glad to have been working with Board President David Chiu on the Sharing Economy Working Group, that as we review and understand what these new companies are doing, the technologically oriented companies that are part of a sharing economy using technology to get more people involved in the economy in general, and creating ideas about how people can participate, we came across a very great idea that as we go through more exercises in our disaster preparedness, and Ann and her staff have been great at that. In fact, I think the last one I kind of had fun in was, how do we feed 10,000 people in the middle of the Tenderloin in a major earthquake disaster? And we walked through that. We saw how meals are served. We try to do it in the proper way, but we know we're going to need a lot of help. The main message that we wanted to have was, after a disaster hits, we want the message to be out before disaster, during a disaster, and right after, that we welcome everybody to participate in our recovery. And the best way to recover quickly and faster is we engage everybody immediately about how we can help and assist each other. And that's partly a philosophy of the sharing economy as well. And whether it's a need for space, people need to have space as they did in the aftermath of Hurricane Sandy, or now in Oklahoma, or whether they needed to get a car because their car was damaged, or they needed some repairs in their house. They're trying to relight the pilot in their stove and they didn't know how to do it, and they can't find the big utilities that are enthralled in a great effort elsewhere. These sorts of things, people can help each other, and we can access the companies that are part of BayShare and the sharing economy to get some help for people right away. It's all in a general effort that I want people of San Francisco in every single neighborhood to know that we want them here as part of the recovery, that they're not going elsewhere. We're not leaving them alone. We're not leaving them isolated. I learned that big lesson as myself and others who went with me to New Orleans a few years back, a couple of years after their levees broke. We tried to understand the frustration of people in the Ninth Ward and we kept getting these testimonies. Local government and the businesses didn't ask us to come back. They didn't register a note for us to want to recover with them immediately. I want that to be a philosophy that is so strong, not only with our interfaith community, but also with our businesses, with our residents. And so we're tasking up for that already with DEM's leadership by saying that companies who have already figured out ways to share in the economy can also join us in the planning of what we can do to bring residents back quicker. And if it means, like I read this morning, somebody who wants to donate mattresses to fire victims or any disaster victims in the city, they have that ability to do that through a website. My job is going to make sure we have the power on and the big stuff happening so that our companies can help us. And so we're figuring that out through the Lifelines Council, working with all the utilities and sharing information there. But today was about bringing companies, whether they're TaskRabbit or Yurtle or Airbnb or the car sharing companies, together with us and not only brainstorm but plan for the event so that we're already have the tasks and we can practice that. We can actually practice this today and involve neighborhoods through SF Card and the NERT program, all the other wonderful programs that DEM has set up. We can actually practice the sharing economy after an event happens today. And I think that will get people not only expecting to be here, wanting to be here, but know that they'll have help to be here. Help on the ground, help in their small businesses, help in their neighborhoods. So this is what BayShare's operation and work with DEM is going to be all about. This is why we have decided to welcome them onto the Disaster Council so that they can work with us on an ongoing basis, work with all the other utilities, bring our small businesses into action in a major disaster. And we're already seeing those efforts across the country when Airbnb experimented what they can do to help people find some space with all of their memberships. They immediately said, we got to turn the fee side off of the website. We got to get people going, and people wanted to help. They actually wanted to help. And for the kind of philanthropic spirit that we have in San Francisco and the Bay Area, I think there'll be a lot of people that want to help. They just need to have that medium to be able to connect up. And so working with BayShare, we decided it's got to be one portal for that to happen so that you're not looking for different companies and what they're expert in. You just have to go to one portal through the DEM process, and we'll set that all up. And then you can access the different tasks that people are willing to help you out on. I think this is incredibly helpful to us to have more people involved in the front end of preparing for a disaster so that they can help the city recover quickly. And this has been a philosophy that I have wanted to have in this city. I'm so proud of our DEM and our BayShare groups to come together today with all the other people who have been committed for many, many years, helping us even improve in what we do. What we know that we're going to be there for each other. We'll be there with resources, with skill sets, and with even a higher level of appreciation for everybody. So a great announcement. Thank you to BayShare and all the members for coming together to be with us and for your work on an ongoing basis to help the city prepare for a disaster, recover quickly, and invite all the residents of the city to be part of it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now it's my pleasure to introduce President David Chiu, who would like to say a few words.
Thank you so much. Good morning. This announcement today is about how we best prepare at being ground zero. Ground zero in a number of meanings. First of all, San Francisco, we are ground zero when it comes to emergency preparedness. I want to thank the Department of Emergency Management and all of the folks who, as a community, ensure that just as we had to recover after the 1906 fire, just as we recovered after Loma Prieta in 1989, we know that the big one will hit us with a 2/3 certainty over the next 30 years, and we have to be prepared. But San Francisco is also ground zero for another wonderful phenomenon, and that is the sharing economy, the collaborative consumption movement that many of the folks who are here represent. I want to thank those of you who are innovating, who are entrepreneurs, who are thinking about how can we better use resources, how can we better share services, how can we ensure that our housing, our transit, our tasks are shared among each other to really maximize benefits for all of our local communities. Today, obviously, we are merging these two things, emergency preparedness and our sharing economy. The mayor mentioned Hurricane Katrina. Before I became a supervisor, I spent 9 years running a technology company. And a few weeks after Hurricane Katrina, I was asked with a national team to go visit New Orleans to figure out what we need to do to get literally hundreds of websites up for nonprofit and city agencies that were looking to provide help. And at that time, it took us months longer than it needed to do for recoveries that still years later have not yet come to be. And from our perspective, today's announcement is really about how we take those months and years and compress them into hours and days. The fact that on top of our emergency preparedness, on top of our local volunteers, and I want to thank our churches, I want to thank our NERT volunteers, I want to thank our community members who have already been preparing to what we need to do when the next big one hits. The fact that we are layering on the top of our technology innovators to think today how we prepare for the future, I'm really excited about. I've been very gratified to work with Mayor Lee on our shareable economy working group. This is one of the outputs of that, and I look forward to many, many ways in which our community will learn how to share both before and after the next big one hits us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Chiu. Millicent Johnson is the leader of BayShare, and she's going to tell us a few things about BayShare and how it came together.
I can just say that BayShare is so thrilled to have the first of its kind partnership to work with the city and to really pitch in to help our hometown, the Bay Area, become stronger and more resilient. BayShare is a collection of companies and stakeholders in the sharing economy who see the value of coming together to pitch in, to start initiatives, to be a resource, and to collaborate with our city officials and our communities to help build a stronger community. A more connected community is a more resilient community, and communities that are connected are communities that share. And so it's a natural partnership and a natural collaboration for us to work with our cities and the Bay Area to help build a stronger community. We are incredibly excited for our users to engage in Department of Emergency Management initiatives. We are powered by the citizens of the Bay Area, whether they share cars through City Car Share or Get Around, share space through Liquid Space or Parasoma or Airbnb, or share stuff through Yurtle. Those are the people that come together and help each other in good times, and those are the same people that are going to come together and help each other in disasters. And so we have a bunch of BayShare members that are here, and they have ideas for how they want to work with different city departments and want to pitch in to help create a stronger Bay Area. Our next speaker is actually going to give you a concrete example of one of our members really stepping up to the plate and helping to create a stronger Bay Area. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Millicent. Next, we have Nate Blajarzek, co-founder of Airbnb.
It was November of this past year when Superstorm Sandy hit New York. It was an unprecedented event for the region. And in the midst of this disaster, we were really inspired by something we saw within our own community on Airbnb. Users of the Airbnb platform were updating their profile to say, if you're a New Yorker and you need a place to stay tonight, I'll take you into my home. No money. And we started seeing this, and we were really inspired, and we asked ourselves, what can we do to promote this further? And so over the next couple days, we sent emails to our community encouraging others to open up their homes. And we fundamentally changed how our system worked. We did away with the concept of payments so that people could open their homes for free. And we did away with our service fees. And we created a landing page to organize information and get the word out about what was available to those in need. And through those efforts, after several days, over 1,400 homes were made available free of charge to the citizens of New York City. And looking back on that, we did a lot of good, but it also took a lot of work to organize. And I think if we had been a little bit more prepared, we could have done so much more. And so that's what today has been about, is starting a conversation with Airbnb and the other members of the sharing economy about how can we do some proactive thinking about leveraging the greater community to help come together and be organized in a time of need. For Airbnb, we've taken that functionality that we developed for Hurricane Sandy, and we've made it such that we can deploy it next time within 30 minutes, whether it be here in San Francisco or anywhere else around the world, to rally support and provide services. And so in closing, I just want to thank our city leaders, Mayor Lee, President Chiu, the Department of Emergency Management, the BayShare, and the sharing economy companies for getting this dialogue started so that we're ready when it's needed. Thank you.
Thank you, Nate. And thank you all for coming. This has been a great day today. We are going to go back into our meeting and continue our dialogue. But Mayor Lee and President Chiu, and I believe Nate and Millicent also will be here to answer a few questions if you would like to. So thank you all for coming.